Today in the Great Lakes Kitchen, we're making one of my all-time favorite holiday snacks. This is one of the most simple recipes that I make, and it's almost certainly the simplest recipe video I've made so far. And when I call this my favorite holiday snack, I have to include a little bit of a disclaimer because there isn't really anything about this particular treat that has anything to do with Christmas or the holidays or anything. It just so happens that in my family, since basically forever, this is something that we have around Christmas time. My mom started making this, I guess in the 80s, and it's just become more or less a tradition. I don't even really think to eat it except for in December around Christmas time. In fact, you know what? Let's get to the bottom of this right now. I'm going to give Mom a call and ask her why the heck these are Christmas treats in our family.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So I'm making a video about oyster cracker snacks, and I wanted to ask, why is that something that we associated with Christmas? Why is that a Christmas time snack?
Well, because I like to give food gifts away as part of my gifts to people, so this is a recipe that's fairly easy to make, or very easy to make and fairly inexpensive. And from one batch, you could make 2 or 3 gifts out of it, and everybody likes it.
So is that pretty much the motivation for just making it for gifts at Christmas time? It didn't really have any connection to the holidays?
No connection whatsoever.
All right. Well, that's good enough for me.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks. Love you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. It's a Christmas time snack because Mom liked giving it away as Christmas gifts. There's a lot of oyster cracker snack mixes and recipes out there, and this is the way that we do it. This is the best way, in my opinion, to do it. It's very simple, only a few ingredients. I know you're going to love it, and maybe you'll make it part of your Christmas tradition just like we have. So let's take a look at our ingredients. Like I said, this recipe couldn't be simpler. First, we have a bunch of oyster crackers. For a batch this size, it calls for 12 ounces of oyster crackers. Then we have an ordinary packet of Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning mix. Now this is the original formula. It's not the buttermilk. It's not any of the other variations. It's just the good old-fashioned ranch seasoning, salad dressing, and recipe mix. Then we've got a bunch of dill weed, 2 full tablespoons of dill weed, and then some vegetable oil. In concept, this could be made with olive oil, but we've only ever used vegetable oil, and the results are delicious and perfect, so I don't like to mess with the formula. Now, the only real thing we have to do is combine all these ingredients. We'll just do them in a certain order and in kind of a certain way, and that's it. Now, ordinarily, I like to just use a great big 2-gallon Ziploc bag for mixing everything together. But for the sake of this video, so you can see what I'm doing and so you don't hear this bag crinkling and pretty much nothing else, I'll use the great big bowl, which is the way my mom still does it. Start with the oyster crackers. Then we add in the dry ingredients, the dill, and the ranch packet. The whole thing. We'll give that a bit of a preliminary mix. And now we're just drizzling that oil over top. I'll do a little bit, stir a little bit, do a little more, stir a little more. Now, when you first do this, these crackers are going to seem super oily, too oily. And that's why you got to let them sit for a while. Let them sit, and over the next couple hours, just give them a stir every few minutes. They're going to soak up that oil, and they're still going to be a bit oily to the touch, but they're not going to be dripping like this. They're going to be a perfect finger snack. Now, I've seen some versions of this recipe where people actually lay all the crackers out on a baking sheet and bake them, but there's no need for that, in my opinion. This is the way we've done it. It's pretty much done except for letting it sit a while longer and mixing it up a bit more. And at this point, I'm still going to transfer them all into the giant bag because it's going to be easier to sort of mix them about and jostle them around every once in a while to keep reincorporating that oil and all the seasonings. Plus, it's just a good airtight bag to store them in the meantime. And every once in a while, I'll just give this bag a bit of a jostle, stir everything around, and I like to wait until the next day before I actually start eating them. So I think we'll just fast forward this video until tomorrow, and we're gonna have a little sample. Here we are the next day, and there you have it. The most delicious, savory, perfect oyster cracker snacks. Every single cracker has flavoring just coated all over it. My favorite, the little split in half pieces that have just that extra dill and seasoning stuck to the inside. Delicious. If you make this earlier in the year, use fresh dill from the garden, but dried works perfectly. Whether it's for the holidays or any other time of year, if you've never tried Dill Oyster Cracker Snacks before, give them a shot. I promise once you start eating them, you're not going to be able to stop. You're going to end up eating, half this bowl without even realizing it. And even though the recipe couldn't really be any simpler, I'll still put it in the video description below so you can see the exact quantities and so forth and make some of this for yourself. So that's about it for now. Be sure to like and subscribe. Stay up to date with all our latest stuff, including future food videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time right here in the Great Lakes Kitchen.